fast forward a little bit to World War II, particularly in France and in Europe. When the war was won in Europe, everybody, and I mean every single soldier, every single regiment from the United States Army was seen as a hero. This included black regiments, famous regiments like the Tuskegee Airmen, and there's a famous tank battalion that won many battles. They were treated as heroes. At the time in Europe, compared to the United States, there were no segregation laws. So after the war was won, they could go wherever they wanted. They could go to whatever beach, whatever restaurant. They were treated as those first-class citizens, and it was very difficult for many of the soldiers to come back home, because even though they fought a war, they got sick, they probably lost limbs, they probably lost family members. You know, it was a really nasty war that they didn't really want to fight, they want nothing to do with, but since there was a draft, they had no choice but to go if you were between 18 and 26 and male. They ended up coming home and once again being mistreated and separated once again. So actually a lot of African Americans were able to get their family out and move to France for obvious reasons, and watch the water. And then many, when they came home, you know, once they had that taste of what integration's really like and just being like everybody else, being treated the same as everybody else, they weren't having it, you know. And when it happened here in Miami, a bunch of folks got together, led by Judge Lawson Thomas, Reverend Garth Reeves, as well to...
Reverend Garth Reeves?
Oh, I'm sorry, Garth Reeves, and I'm thinking Reverend Gibson.
Okay,
That's the one
Terrence, yeah.
I confused, yes. So Reverend Gibson, Garth Reeves, and Judge Lawson Thomas, in order to get together. They did a series of protests, particularly at Baker's Hall over Beach, and they waited in the water and they refused to leave, and they were taken out. There's actually a pretty cool account where the Reverend would be bringing $500 with them, because then when they were getting arrested, he would be paying the officers the fine, so then those folks would not get arrested.
You mean the lawyer, right?
Well, it was a mixture.
Oh, but they were all there. Yeah.
The Reverend and
the
Judge
lawyer and the judge. The lawyer and the judge were there.
So the judge, lawyer, and the Reverend.
They were all there
at these protests.
Oh wow! Okay, nice.
Hall over Beach is the big one.
Okay.
With Hall over Beach, with these wait-in protests, about 6 months later, which is a relatively quick turnaround, on August 1st, 1945, Virginia Beach was born. Virginia Beach is the first official beach for Miami's communities of color. Now it's historic Virginia Key Beach Park, and we are an 82-acre park today that still cherishes that history. Why don't we go take a look at the beach?
So 82 acres is a lot.
It is quite a lot. It is quite a lot, right?